Coming up on Mountain News at 6 or at 5:30, millions of Americans are set to lose food assistance if the government does not reopen. And President Trump continues his tour in Asia, paying a visit to the Emperor of Japan.
And after a quiet weekend, rain chances are now picking up throughout eastern Kentucky. How long will they last? Details coming up.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. The Trump administration says 1 in 8 Americans will go without food assistance if lawmakers do not end the government shutdown by the end of this week. Congress has made no progress on the shutdown in about 4 weeks now. WYMT Washington correspondent Brendan Cullerton has the latest from Capitol Hill.
SNAP benefits, formerly known as food stamps, have never seriously been disrupted in the U.S. since the program began during the Great Depression. But the Trump administration says that's about to change if lawmakers can't reach a deal by Friday. With food assistance for low-income Americans on the line, House Speaker Mike Johnson says it's time for Democrats to pass the Republican spending plan.
Republicans do not have the ability to do this on our own. It's a simple math problem. We need Democrats to help. You need 60 votes in the Senate.
Democrats say Republicans have gutted the U.S. healthcare system, and they want President Donald Trump to help them fix it in any government funding plan.
Donald Trump has had zero interest in spending any time to try to get a resolution. They made the decision to shut down the government, and now they are continuing to inflict pain on the American people.
President Trump is on an economic trip speaking with leaders in Asia this week. Over the weekend, he said Democrats would be to blame if food assistance runs dry.
The Democrats are stopping it. All they have to do is agree to let's go, and we're ready. And we voted for it many times. All we need is 5 Democrats.
Democrats say the Trump administration should simply use USDA emergency funds to keep SNAP running. But the White House argues the government shutdown is a manufactured situation, so they are not legally allowed to do so.
Every Republican in the House and Senate voted yes to put that food on the table, and Democrats keep voting no. They keep voting to shut the government down.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are working on standalone funding plans for SNAP. The funding battle comes with just 1 month until Thanksgiving. In Washington, I'm Brendan Cullerton.
For folks in Tennessee, if the shutdown continues into November, more than 600,000 people who rely on SNAP could see a delay in benefits. Democrats have asked Governor Bill Lee to call a special session to prevent people from losing their SNAP benefits, but the governor said the program is federally funded and states cannot load benefits onto customer cards. President Trump, as mentioned in that earlier story, continued his tour in Asia today. The president visited Japan's Emperor Naruhito at Tokyo's Imperial Palace. Tomorrow, he plans to meet with Japan's first female prime minister. She took office just last week. President Trump says he expects a trade deal with China to be done sometime this week. The FDA approved a new treatment option for women going through menopause that are experiencing hot flashes. The medicine is called Linkwet. Women who would take this medicine once a day, and it does not rely on hormones. The medicine is designed to block brain chemicals that trigger symptoms. The drug will be available starting next month. This is the second FDA-approved non-hormonal drug therapy. It was a wet and ugly start to the work week, and there are plenty more rain chances in the forecast. Meteorologist Eric Dean joins us with the latest.
That's right, Steve. Here's a look at First Alert Live pinpoint Doppler radar right now. You can see that rain pushing into eastern Kentucky. This is going to be the trend as we go throughout the next several hours. We'll go ahead and pinpoint over towards portions of Whitley County, a little bit of McCreary County. You can see that line continuing to push its way to the north and the northeast. As a matter of fact, take a look here at the Kentucky-Tennessee border along I-75. You can see the ground, how it is just wet out there. So if you do have plans, make sure you allow yourself a few extra minutes to get from point A to point B. And there's plenty more of this is coming from. We have an area of low pressure that's situated right over the Commonwealth. This is going to be pushing its way up and over as we go into the next few days. We'll go on the back end of this as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, which is going to keep the temperatures pretty cool. Keep in mind, we should be in the 60s for this time of year We're only going to stay in the 50s for the high end. So if you have plans tonight, make sure you take that rain gear with you, as we'll see temperatures in the upper 40s and low 50s throughout the overnight hours. Again, keeping the rain chances in the forecast. I'll have your complete First Alert forecast plus a sneak peek at Halloween coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. A Tennessee man is dead after a crash in Warren County. Kentucky State Police received word about the crash just before 3 a.m. at the 20.2 mile marker on Interstate 65. Jonathan Barnes of Hendersonville, Tennessee, hit an object in the roadway, which caused his vehicle to come to a halt. A man driving a tractor trailer hit the same object, then hit the vehicle Barnes was in. Barnes was pronounced dead at the scene by the Warren County coroner. A minor was taken to a hospital after being shot in the leg in Woodford County. Police responded to that incident last Saturday. They say an investigation led to Jay Burgess admitting to firing rounds at a vehicle the minor was in. Burgess told police that he shot at the vehicle because the driver reportedly brandished a firearm and pointed it at him. The minor was in the passenger seat when he was struck. Burgess was taken to the Woodford County Detention Center. In Laurel County, one woman is facing charges after she was accused of giving police false information about her identity. Police pulled over Nikki Fairchild last week on the West Cumberland Gap Parkway. After coming across Fairchild, deputies discovered that she had an outstanding warrant. Police say Fairchild was falsely telling them who she was and even gave an incorrect Social Security number. She was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. Also in Laurel County, 4 people are facing charges after police say they received complaints about suspicious drug activity. It happened Saturday evening when officers were called to Robinson Lane. After a brief struggle with Robert Brummett, officers arrested him. When police later obtained a search warrant, they went back to the home and found suspected meth and marijuana. Hobart Baker, Gregory Hubbard, and Patricia Burns were also arrested. Governor Andy Beshear recently announced more than $5.6 million in state grants for 6 Kentucky railway infrastructure improvement projects. This annual grant is funded by KYTC and is given to recipients through the Kentucky Industrial Access and Safety Improvement Program. This program consists of companies proposing a needed project, and KYTC will offer 50% of the project's cost. These proposed projects can be a variety of improvements that are needed for the company.
They are really all about improving infrastructure and improving safety. So some of them are improvements to existing rail lines. Others, we're adding a new track on rail lines or doing things to improve safety, like ensuring appropriate water flow under railway. So it's the types of projects range greatly.
KYTC offers state grants to railway companies throughout the year, so there are frequent opportunities to apply. For more about this, you can go to our website, WYMT.com. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a former NFL star is arrested in Texas. We'll tell you why.
And we're going to keep the shower chances in the forecast, but will they let up just in time for Halloween? Details in the First Alert forecast coming up.